Chosen ones, empaths, don't believe the facade of the narcissist. You know, when you've separated, for whichever reason you were discarded or you had to cut them off or reverse discard, however it took place, when you separate finally and you see them move on with their lives, it can leave you feeling like, oh my God, they've just replaced me. Don't believe it. They haven't replaced you. They can't replace you. This is the dynamics of what the narcissist is suffering with as they proceed forward. You know, they will clutch to this new person. They will clutch to this new person like glue. And you'll see photos of them on social media. If you're still looking, you shouldn't be looking, but if you are still looking, you'll see photos of them on social media, them presenting themselves like they're living their best life. You've got to understand that all of these pictures that you're seeing are fashioned and orientated with you in mind. They're deliberately doing this to destroy you. They're not actually in this relationship, should I say, for the right reasons. They're not actually in this relationship to connect with the new person. They're not actually in this relationship to love the other person. They're in this relationship to hurt you. For whichever reason your relationship come to an end, right? For whichever reason it come to an end, most likely it's because they started to devalue you and your supply started to run low. And now they're punishing you. Also, you've inflicted severe narcissistic injuries throughout, so they're punishing you now. But realistically, they're punishing themselves in reality, because they're proceeding with this new relationship, and truly they don't want to be in it. And they've realized this very quickly. They've realized they've downgraded. They've realized they've made a bad move. And their last clutching at straws moment is a way to try and hurt you through it. So that's what they'll clutch to. They'll continue to proceed like they don't want you, and they'll try and glorify this new relationship. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. The narcissist doesn't want to be there. They're struggling to survive without you. They are. You got to understand what an empath and a chosen one is. If you're able to put yourself in another person's shoes, you don't wish harm upon other people or people that don't do you wrong. You don't wish harm upon them. Highly likely you're an empath, and you have such an impact upon a narcissist. It's unreal. You need to understand that the effect that an empath has on a narcissist is unreal. They believe they can get over you. This is why they done a risky move. They believed they could get over you. They believed they could replace you. They believed that they would find someone to fill your shoes. But they can't. And they struggle. And they're used to the way you do things. Remember, each of these relationships that we've engaged in, as an empath that you are, we personally catered a unique supply source towards them that they will never receive from another human being. The only person they can get this distinctive supply source from is yourself. And they suffer the consequences without that. A lot of the times, these lot have moved forward and they're in a toxic relationship. The person's just as toxic as they are. And you know what? In fact, a lot of the times they're just as toxic as they are, because a lot of these new suppliers knew about us. Let's just face it and be realistic. A lot of these new suppliers... Do you think the narcissist is that courageous to make a move and jump ship? Just cut one relationship off and then find a new one? No. They're not that courageous. They couldn't withstand the gap in between. even if it was a number of days or weeks, they lined the other person up while they was with you. Highly likely they done this. You would have never known about it. But they lined a new person up while they was with you. And because they were still getting your attention, your love, your supply, or what was left of your supply, this was making them have rose-tinted glasses. Like, they were seeing this new supply in a whole nother light, which they weren't really that. It's like when they were alone by themselves with the new supply and they're sitting on the sofa looking at each other, I imagine reality struck pretty soon. And they were like, oh, geez, what have I done? This is what happens to them. They don't come back and tell you these things. They don't come back and tell you that they missed you for ages. And I've heard countless stories of how the narcissist tried to reach back out to the old supply, which is you. But one thing is, if you're an empath, then you're something different compared to all the suppliers they've had in their lives. And it's highly likely you may have been their first empath they come across. You've left an imprint in them which can't be fulfilled from anyone else. So they are struggling to survive without you. They're not as happy as these photos appear. Most of this stuff is done in spite of you. They've actually gone off with someone new in spite of you. Remember, they want to spark a reaction from you. You've heard me talk about this before. They want to initiate an injection boost of supply from you. Or they convert you to a supply that's just on the outside. They dethrone you from a primary source to a secondary source to someone that's orbiting around them, trying to get back in. That's where they want you to be. Meanwhile, they're with this supplier, but they'll have you and they'll be texting you while you're trying to work things out. Do not play these games with them. Fall back. Get away from them. Cut off. Door slam, bolt wall shut. Don't engage in chasing after them. Because the quicker that you get to the realization that you chasing after them isn't going to achieve anything, is the quicker they get to the realization that they've made a dreadful mistake. The longer we keep pumping supply into them through chasing after them and validating them, is the longer it takes them to get the reality and the epiphany that they've made a dreadful decision. But you going quiet, you going ghost, you getting on with your own life, allows the narcissist to realize what they've truly lost within you. Going on your own journey by yourself, for yourself, allows them and gives them time to realize this. They have a rough idea early on. They have their doubts, but they keep going because you're chasing. It's like they'll run further away from you because you're chasing. Even though they know they get a little gut feeling that they're making a bad move, but they'll still go with it. Until you totally detach from them, totally detach yourself, this is when they realize they've made a mistake. And this is where they're probably at now as you listen to this video. You may have rejected a few hoovers now. You might have, told them about themselves, gone into supernova. The narcissist is probably out there, realize they probably already know they've made a bad move. If this is fresh, give it time. If it's fresh, give it a little while, go quiet. You'll hear from them again, So do not believe this illusionary fairy tale that they're trying to paint to you. They actually orientate their whole social media accounts in spite of you, to hurt you, and to hurt other people that are also their orbiters, because they have orbiters. Narcissists have orbiters, people from their past, that if the narcissist chose to walk back into their lives, they would accept it. This is why you need to be someone different. The empath, once the empath truly breaks free from the chains of the narcissist, and they cut them out their lives and they cut them out their minds like a lobotomy, and they door slam, bolt and weld it shut, there's no hope in hell that a narcissist can ever get back through that door. Once an empath goes cold, or they go supernova, or they, the narcissist, there's no way they ever get him back in. But the narcissist has got people in their orbit that they could go back into their lives if they wanted to. People from their past, stuff like that, This is why you need to be different. You need to be that one that doesn't accept them back in, right? You don't want to be like the other people that are just allow them back in their lives, because they've got plenty of those on their radar. They have. They keep tabs on all of their exes, and that's including you. But you're their main focus now. You're the main one they want to destroy. You're the main one they want to destroy because you are actually so good, so kind, so loving. They resent you for even loving them. They can't, They return your kindness with hatred and ill intent. But they won't find a supply source like you ever again. Ever again. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find the link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.